So I'm going to make a video here. I just did the grading for this week, and I was looking at all of your sun salutations. Doing great. I'm so happy to always, I know it's your assignment, but I'm happy to see people practicing yoga. And I'm happy that, you seem like you're engaged and you seem like the questions are genuine, and I like to see people learning. So that's good. I tended to notice a lot of the same things from people. So I want to make a video of one sun salutation where I'll walk you through like main points that I noticed that are tips that people might need to hear. So here we go. Okay. That's where, hoping that I fit on the screen. Okay. So here's one thing. And I know people's space is always limited, especially like when you're considering trying to make a video. So I understand what you're working with, but you want to, for sun salutations, have some room behind you because you're going to be stepping back and forward. So save some room behind you. Okay, so we're going to inhale. Check your feet are under your hips and hips width apart. Inhale, reach up. Okay, so when we come down, here's the very first thing that I noticed that I want to give a tip about. And I made a little video about this, but rather than leading down with your head like this, you want to think about your lower spine, the very base of your spine. So when I'm going down, I bend from the very base of my spine and I try to elongate my spine out. And when I've gone out as far as I can, then I start going down from the base of the spine. So like this. I'm going to bend down. And then I'm going to start going down from the very base of the spine, rolling up my shoulders, and then my head follow very last. My head is last down. Then I step back with the left foot. And this is another thing. So this is really important. And I noticed some people didn't have their knee over their ankle. It was like hanging way out here. That puts a lot of strain on your knee. So however you need to adjust to have the knee over the ankle, that's really important. I know obviously it can be a flexibility thing. So you may need to like get yourself in the right position to find how it's comfortable. You might need to have this foot forward more or something to make that work. And then we look upward. And in this one, it's not just with the head. It's think about your whole spine kind of arching up and back. So it's like this. Or even, this was the variation, up and back. Okay, so then we bring our palms down next to the front foot, step back into plank pose, and then drop your knees down and curl the toes on. You can't see my toes, but curl them under like this. Okay, then we're dropping our chest and chin or forehead to the mat. Here's the chin. Sorry, my phone died, so back to it. All right, so we were in Ashtanga pose, and I was saying you can put your chin on the mat or your forehead. I'll show you both. I was taught chin, but the reading says forehead. And I did have one comment saying, how do you put your forehead on the mat without touching your nose? I don't know. I guess we'll see if my nose touches, and probably depends on what size nose you have and how flexible also your neck is. If you're able to, and that may be part of the purpose of putting your forehead on the mat, is getting a little bit of an extension through the back of your neck. So I'll start in Ashtanga because this is the second half of the video. The chin, and then this is the forehead. Yeah. So that is a little awkward. Okay. So Bhujangasana. Okay. Toes are curled under here, so you can get ready for pushing back into downward dog. And you want to be strong in your shoulders. So what do I mean by that? Don't slump into them. Roll your shoulders back and down and push up. And look upward as well. One comment was that the lower back was hurting in that pose. And I was reading, if you walk your hands back closer to your hips, that allows you to put more of the weight on your palms than on your lower back. Also just focus on extending up as well so that you're not like slumping into that lower back. I know what you mean by it can hurt your lower back, so you do want to protect that lower back. So let's see if I walk my palms back a little bit here. You want to feel like your back is engaged the whole way up, and engaging that back and reaching upward, like keeping your whole back engaged, protects that lower back from just like receiving all the weight, as like you don't want to feel like you're slumped into the lower back, because that will hurt you. Okay, so there we were in Bhujangasana. And then pushing back to downward dog. I have a couple comments here. Okay, so you want to have a wide distance between your palms and your feet. I saw some people seem to be too close. And by too close, I mean like if you were like this, that's not doing you, it's not better to be closer together in that pose, because you want the distance so that you can push back through your palms and really see, I mean, you're not seeing yourself do the pose, but you want to feel like the force or the energy is moving from your palms up that slant of your back to your tailbone, and then therefore the weight is going down into your heel, into your toes and your heels. Usually the heels don't reach the mat, which I had a few questions on that, but you're pushing back into your heels. So eventually, the more you do it, your heels may reach the mat. I think at one point in my life, my heels reach the mat, but it's not like the most common. So here I am, pushing back into downward dog. I keep some distance, enough distance that I'm able to really push back through my palms. So see, rather than being like this, where my shoulders are actually holding a lot of the weight here, you want to push back through your palms. So watch what happens to the shape of this. Push back through your palms, back up into the tailbone. So you can see how that's different than what I was just doing, right? You can let your head hang down. And so with that energy or that force pushing back to the tailbone, then you push down through the heels as well. And that is the shape of a downward dog that we're looking for. And then when we go into lifting one leg, you want to first, when you lift a leg, keep both hips where they were, facing the same direction. And if you want to add that twist that I showed, you can. I find actually turning the head to look at that foot gives you a little bit of balance and somewhat of a spinal twist. So I'll do it in this direction because I don't want to hit the wall, and show you that. So we're going to lift up one leg, and first I'm keeping my hips facing the same direction they were. Then I'll go up and arch that way, and I'm going to turn to kind of look at that foot. Okay, I'll bring the foot back down in downward dog. Step forward with the left foot, checking that the knee is over the ankle but not overhanging it. When you're first learning, like, you really have to check all the time for all these little things, check. Then eventually your body will know what to do. But in the beginning, it's like kind of have to look and see, did I do what I was trying to do or not? And then you step up to meet the feet together. And again, remember with the forward bend, we're bending down from the base of the spine. Let me get on the camera. Base of the spine, and then the rest of the spine follows. I'll take a minute to talk about the knees. Mine are not perfectly straight, but you want them, actually the goal is to have them be straight, but not locked. That will damage your knee. You want it like strong, meaning you're not like clenching any muscles, but they're engaged around your knee to stabilize your knee and not put strain on it. So we're bending forward from that. And when you come to standing, you can roll up. And I had comment on dizziness. I get dizzy too, and it really helps. You roll up to standing. That's a nice slow way to do it if you want. Pretend you're stacking each vertebrae on top of one another, followed by the shoulders and the head. Okay. A lot of breath from my yoga exercise while talking through it. But I hope that some of those tips were useful, because I was trying to point out some of the comments that came to mind as I was watching the poses. Okay, great job this week. And I made a video next about moon salutations that we're doing this coming week.